All right, welcome back, everyone, to Lakers Latest. I hope everyone has been having a good week. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. It is Thursday. Everyone can almost embrace. We are finally to the end of the week, as Friday is tomorrow. And yeah, it is. We are now it's the 11th. We're a little over 3.5 weeks away till preseason starts. Training camp. I don't have the specific date, but I believe it starts sometime either late next week or early the following week. Obviously, it's very exciting. Everyone's going to start getting here. The team's going to start building camaraderie. We're going to start getting preseason games, and then regular season's going to be right around the corner. So, it's been probably 6 to 7 months since we've seen Lakers basketball, and we're getting very close to seeing it again. No, Summer League does not count. Sorry. Real Lakers basketball. So, we're getting very close to seeing it again. So, very excited about that. As always, coming from Studio City, California, it is 75 degrees outside. It is so nice. It's been an oven the past few weeks, so nice to get a little break from that. Excuse me, but yeah, let's get going. So I'm gonna start the show, kind of transitioning from a topic last time, which is Andrew Wiggins. A couple days ago, I said there's been some rumors lately that the Lakers would kind of pick up interest in Wiggins, if he were going to become available, or if the Heat were to start potentially looking at getting rid of lowering their salary by getting rid of higher salary players. And it's kind of just blown up and really pushed through the past few days where you can kind of see like article after article is now popping up of like Lakers are interested in Wiggins, trade proposals for Wiggins and all that. And just kind of amplified very quickly. So I don't think anything is close to happening, or I don't even think they've had the discussions yet. But the fact that it's getting pushed through the media and a ton of people are reporting this now, to me, is the fact that there are legs there, and that maybe this isn't something that's going to happen in before the regular season or even at the beginning, but potentially sometime during the season. I think that's a very real possibility. So I think when we look at a potential Wiggins fit with the Lakers, I think it's a little bit more difficult to look at that until you officially know what he was traded for. I know there was a couple. I'm not going to go into, I talked about a bunch of potential ways to get him here. But yeah, when you look at Wiggins, like I'm going to assume that it would probably take either Rui or definitely Connect, maybe one of Vincent to make it happen. So assuming you traded Rui, he would probably fill into that spot. But like we said, like for this team to go to the next level, they need that two-way wing. And Wiggins could absolutely be that two-way wing. He's a very good defender. We saw him when the Warriors won. He was phenomenal defensively. He even, like, out of nowhere was averaging, like, 11 rebounds per game in the finals, which was crazy. I remember that. But this is a championship player. The guy's won a championship. He's been an integral part of a championship. He's everything you look for in a two-way player. He can also score. He's not going to light it up scoring 30-plus points a game, but he's, a career 18 to 20 point per game scorer. Good shooter, can be a good solid three-point shooter, a very much elevated 3-and-D player, and, like, that's where he would fit. Like, he can shoot, he can also score by himself, but he would be that, I don't want to say 3-and-D player, because that kind of makes it seem like all he can do is shoot threes, which that two-way player that I feel like is the last, missing piece to the Lakers potentially contending with those upper echelon teams in the Western Conference, which are the Thunder, the Rockets, and the Nuggets. So I just think Wiggins would be a very good fit for the Lakers. I think he'd be a good fit offensively to play off Luka. They would get him a ton of open shots. He can score in the post. He can score on his own at the same time. And then defensively, obviously that's kind of well documented. We know what type of defender he is. We know what he brings to the table. But yeah, he fits that two-way wing that the Lakers are looking for. As far as where he would fit in the lineup, again, I can't fully say on that because the trade hasn't happened and we don't know who they would potentially be trading to get him. But we know what his role would be on this team. It would be that two-way stopper, also can score, can do a little bit of everything. And again, I'm not guaranteeing it happens, but the fact that there are so many reports that are kind of pushing this out there means I think there's legs and the possibility of it happening sometime in the future, whether that be the beginning of the season or maybe close to the deadline. I think it's a very realistic possibility. So we'll see what happens on that front. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Next up, we got DeAndre Ayton. So I've definitely talked a lot about DeAndre Ayton and his impact on this team, whatever that may be. Now, obviously, DeAndre Ayton is not the best player in this team. Luka Doncic is the best player in this team. Then LeBron James is obviously the second best player in this team. But and again, we'll see how he plays and how they play in preseason and everything. I think you can make the argument that he's the most important player on this team. Like if you don't get what you need from him from an effort perspective, from an offensive perspective, from like an attitude perspective, like it could be a mess. Like you don't want to start Jackson Hayes. He's a decent backup, but he's not a starter. He's not going to get you much of anywhere. Ayton really, like you look, especially after they got rid of AD, they were really missing that post player, that talented offensive player, and Ayton could be that. At the same time, obviously it's well documented his time in Phoenix and Portland. Attitude issues, effort issues, doesn't hustle, doesn't do these things. So there's a lot of up and down with Ayton. I would say this from the positivity perspective. Ayton, I think, knows, what he's going into. I think he understands the reputation that might have been placed around him these past few years based off of his actions or whatever he did or may not have done. I think he understands that. I think he knows, obviously, this is only a 1-year deal. He's only, I don't know, his age is 25, 26. He's still incredibly young. He's incredibly talented. So whether he's going to be on the Lakers after this year remains to be seen, but I can tell you he definitely wants to give it his all because he wants to get, the payday that he's going to want, whether that be starting center on a contending team, whether it be the Lakers or someone else. But I think that, definitely he's going to be a very important person to this team. And I think that his offense is very important, what he brings to the table, whether that's his post game, passing out of the post, shooting. He is a decent shooter. It's more post game's more his game. But what he brings to the table offensively is going to be super important. Just to have that post presence, let Luka, LeBron play their game. Other guys feed off of that. But the thing I'm watching with Ayton is the attitude and the effort. Like the effort is a huge thing. He's not a good defender, we know that. But if he can just give you effort, if he can just give you that effort, that hustle, hustling for rebounds, maybe extra defensive effort, tenacity, that's gonna go a long ways. I'm not, I'm not out here expecting him to be a prime Hakeem Elijah one. That's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? He's not the dream. No one is. But I'm not expecting him to be an elite defensive player this year. I just want that effort, and I think it's going to be very evident early in the season whether we see that effort from him. If he's hustling, if he's running, if he's smiling with his teammates, having a good time, feeling comfortable out there. I think that's going to be evident. You're going to see that. But if he's showing, bad emotions and bad body language and, maybe he's not getting the looks he wanted, you're going to be able to see that too. You're going to be able to see him being unhappy. So I think it's really important that he just, puts his feet in the ground and just does whatever's asked of him. Obviously, he wants to amplify his offensive presence, but at the same time, to just kind of do whatever's asked of him and show he's a good teammate, show he's a hard worker, and yeah, just kind of do these things. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. The next thing, which is talking about Devin Vassell. So he's an interesting player, obviously very talented player on the Spurs, really good shooter, talented offensive player. I think that, is getting him possible? That's the question that's on my mind. I think he'd be a phenomenal fit on the Lakers. I think he'd be, he's 20, he's 24 or something. I can't remember his specific age, just signed a contract. Great shooter. He's a guy who would be a really good fit, I think, next to Luka Doncic. I think that, especially from a shooting perspective, I've said this a bunch of times, you want to surround yourself with shooters, whether it's Luka or LeBron, both of them. And he's just a really talented offensive player. He's a young guy that fits in line with the Lakers timeline after this year, at least when LeBron leaves. And he's a very solid defender, really good young player. And I don't know if the Spurs would trade him, but I do know they have a ton of guards. They got him, Harper, they got Fox, then they have Bryant. They have a ton of young guards, so it's not inconceivable, I think, that he could become expendable. As far as what it would take to get him, did a little fun with the NBA trade machine, as we always do, and I put together a couple. So One has Lakers getting Vassell and Kelly Olynyk, and the Spurs getting Rui, Gabe Vincent, Kleba, Dalton Connect, maybe a first round pick. Another one would be Vanderbilt, Vincent, Kleba, and obviously you're not going to Connect because the money wouldn't work. So maybe two unprotected first, but then the question is he worth that? I don't know. Maybe one unprotected first, two pick swaps. Um, and then the last one would be him and Julian Champagne, I think is how you pronounce it. For Rui, Dalton connecting Gabe Vincent. That's one that might work for them because they're getting two young players back. Um, Again, don't know if he's going to be available, but he's a guy I would love to target if rumors become that he would to be available in the near future. All right, let's finish it off as we so often do with Luka. So real quick, Slovenia did lose to Germany. I believe Luka had 39. So Slovenia and Luka have officially been eliminated from Eurobasket. It's unfortunate, and I know obviously he wanted to win for his country, but at the same time, excited now that he can kind of come back to LA and just put his singular focus on Lakers, his singular focus on trying to win a championship here, and playing in what obviously could be LeBron's final year. So yeah, just excited for him to kind of get back now to the States and really just keep working, grinding in preseason, training camp, just to get ready for the regular season. And yeah, I said it before, but he looks in unbelievable shape, and I just can't wait to see how he looks when he comes back. And now he can just kind of singularly focus on that. Also, just Luka's personal life. This is crazy, man. It's just crazy every time I see people buying $25 million homes. I'm like, I'm not even gonna make half of that, or probably even more than half of that in my lifetime, let alone purchasing a house at that price. But it's been announced that Luka has purchased former Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova's $25 million mansion. I believe it's in Beverly Hills. So yeah, congrats, Luka. I didn't know if he had a house before that, if he just found it, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that's going to be his permanent residence since he's going to be here a while. So congrats on finding your permanent house. Hope you love it. Hope the moving process goes well and you have a good time. And yeah, just get ready to grind this season. We can't wait to see you, Luka. So that's all I got for you today, guys. Yeah, everyone have a good day. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.